What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to A Certain Point of View here on a Sunday as we are here to talk a whole live Schmoedown. What is up, everyone? Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. We're here to recap a bunch of stuff. And I'm just going to get right into this because I know that Jill has a lot that she has to talk about that she did yesterday. I'm going to shoot it to her first on how her weekend's been going. Because if you saw her Instagram story, it was like 6 hours long.
Stories.
I had a good time, guys. I'm living my best life. It's my time of year. It is my season. And I'm doing way too much. I'm doing something every weekend, and it's a lot. But it's a lot of fun. It's fun. It's a good time.
I mean, we don't have anything like that in Sacramento, so I'm jealous.
I mean,
I'm jealous.
Not like that. Not like
Like
that.
I mean,
not like crazy, but we do have some things.
like
not
Halloween
like
Road
that.
or like
We have like the Apple place.
the
Apple Hill.
Applebee's.
That's
Yeah,
that
I've
has
never been,
nothing to do with
so.
spooks and
Yeah, but it's
picking
still
apples
like
and getting apple
the
pies.
fall.
It's totally different.
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
the
see you
one-
complaining going every single year.
Yeah, I'm going Saturday. Actually,
Exactly.
The one,
So
The one yesterday was put on by Freeform, which is owned by Disney, for their 31 nights of Halloween that they do every year. So it was a whole bunch of really cute, like, photo op places. You could
William.
do photo ops with like Nightmare Before Christmas and Ghostbusters and the Addams Family, and it was a lot of fun. There was a drag queen Sanderson Sisters show that was just
I saw that on your story, and I was like, "Are those the real people?"
right. they looked so good.
Especially the black-haired. I don't know their
Mary.
names. Yeah,
Mary,
I was like,
yeah.
"That's the real person."
first time live streamer with us.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
And that is an
Welcome.
awesome compliment. Thank you, Ronan. Thank
Yeah,
you.
appreciate it. That's the amazing David B right there. David Biscuits, as we lovingly call him. But yeah, so I did that yesterday, and then on Friday I went to my old stomping grounds where I used to be a haunt monster, and I went to Not Scary Farm Halloween Haunt, and I got to wear my pentagram dress, which was a lot of fun. I think I scared multiple children. It's great, and I was there as a guest, so I wasn't even supposed to be scaring people. But they actually had an artwork, like a hand painted piece of really gorgeous artwork of my old character that I used to do. So I spent way too much money and bought the original art piece of it. But
That's
like,
so cool though.
but like it's me. Like, and I
Yeah.
was the only person who did that. Like it's literally me.
YOLO.
And so I was like,
YOLO.
I can't YOLO. So I couldn't not like get it. But yeah, my feet hurt. My
I
feet
believe
hurt.
it.
My feet
Yeah.
hurt too. We walked around the Beltline, which is just like a really long stretch of walking paths in Atlanta. But there's a bunch of bars down the whole thing. So we
So
walked a lot,
Sunday.
drank a lot,
So a Sunday.
went to a show. Yeah, so, same Saturday deal, same weekend deal as usual, but lots more activity, physical activity. So not only is my liver tired, I am tired. So cheers.
ya.
Here's some tea.
I feel ya. I say as I drink some whiskey and sweet tea.
Brian, did the Rivercats win?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yes, I know. Let's see. What did I do Saturday? Went and saw Venom.
Isn't that yesterday was Saturday?
Yeah.
Right? So you went to
Yeah.
a baseball game, right?
Yeah, but I went and saw Venom. I got to do two things yesterday. I went and saw Venom in the morning, and then got to see a Rivercats game. My friend was like, "Hey, you want to go? I have extra ticket." I was like, "Sure." Freaking didn't tell me our seats were the second row behind home plate, so that was fun.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked super cool. Is it like just like your local, like, is it like a
AAA
AAA team?
AAA.
Okay.
So it's the Giants AAA team.
Oh, how cool.
I mean, I don't care. I don't like Giants. But-
I'm glad. I'm glad you don't.
Yeah. But yeah, fun little day. They actually won, which was fun. It was
Ooh.
firework night too.
Ooh,
Lots
always
of fun. Yeah.
that's always fun.
And then you watch Dogs.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Aw.
it's been a madhouse in my house the last 5 days. I've had my sister and her boyfriend went to Austin City Limits, so they were in Texas this weekend for that music festival, and we watched their 2-year-old chocolate lab. And if anyone follows me on Instagram and saw the videos I was posting, it is absolute chaos inside my household. I have a 6-month-old puppy, then their 2-year-old lab, and my 4-year-old shepherd. And so there were a lot of dogs in this household, and he's still here, but luckily he's crated right now. He is a handful. He's an absolute handful. So
Finn.
Yeah, so
they're all
they come back
Star Wars
tomorrow.
names. That's the
They are,
best
and it
ever.
worked. So his full name is Finnegan, but they obviously call him Finn.
Finn.
So yeah, Finn,
Finnegan.
Ray, and Kylo are all in the household tonight,
So freaking cute.
which is just wild. So
I
yeah,
forgot.
that's all I did this weekend. So that's pretty much all I did this weekend.
I forgot I had a certain
Actually, no,
special
that's not all I did. I went to a concert on Friday. I apologize. There we go.
Oh,
So,
concert.
yeah, we went to the Kane Brown concert on Friday
Oh,
night.
Since when do you go to
here in
country
Sacramento.
concerts?
I was like, is that a country singer?
I support my country loving girlfriend. So
Oh,
That's
what
we
we do.
stand.
That's a first. I don't think I've ever, since I've known you, go to a
There's
country
Gabby in the
concert
chat. We went
willingly.
I've gone
Willingly.
I've gone to multiple country concerts, so
Yeah.
it's not the first
No.
one. I go.
Hey, country concerts are.
He's like a country rap artist, and he played Soldier Boy. So like, down.
Oh, nice.
He played Superman. I was
Like-
like, oh, this is my stuff. Let's go.
Like,
Let's go.
that's,
Yeah, like, full on.
that's a throwback if I ever did.
It worked out perfectly. I got a little myself. You know, it was cool.
What do you have to show the class, Brian?
He didn't hear you.
No,
What do you
I'm
have
sorry.
what do you have to show the class? Are you showing the class?
Oh, this is directed to one Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
Got
Bring,
him.
bring it.
This is
One
my
game
this
playoff.
is my look at you. This is my Ahsoka corner. So I have my statue given to me by my lovely co-hosts. I have my oh god. I have her crystal here. It's not charged or else I would turn it on. And then I have her lightsabers. So yeah. I hate Ahsoka. She's not at all my favorite character.
All right,
She's the
well,
worst.
since you said that, I'm gonna move on because that was just a false statement. That was
I know, clearly.
that was just wrong.
Clearly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of an obsessor as well. Her lightsabers, bunch of pops, like that, the photo.
Didn't you order a hot toy of her?
Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get here, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, we're here for some Schmoedown, everybody. We have a lot to talk about tonight.
Welcome.
As the thumbnail says, and as we've been mentioning on our social media, we do have the great Eric Whiteley with us here tonight. We're gonna be talking to him in just a quick second. We're also going to be talking about some fan interaction and involvement in the Schmoedown. It's kind of been a little bit of a hot topic lately over the last couple weeks, and we're going to just give our thoughts and kind of dive into the whole thing because as I put on our social media, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, and there's a lot of ugly about it. And we're going to talk about it. And then obviously cover Friday's matches as well, which is Bibbs versus Ty and Parker and Saul. For all of you asking about Saturday's pay-per-view event, the live stream from New York. We'll be discussing that on a live stream later this week and previewing that. So check that out then. But for now, let's just get to it. We're very excited to have him back. Obviously, he wasn't able to capture the W earlier this week, but we wanted the chance to talk to him, and that is Eric the Knight White.
Yeah.
Hello. Hey, what's up, everybody?
How you
Welcome
doing?
back.
Oh,
Jake, I'm waiting for my money to be sent over. So, we were trying to ruin Brian's fantasy league. And I think we did it. So,
you're on my team.
Yeah, I was paying him to lose is what he was saying. That's what he was saying.
How dare?
Yeah.
Wasn't
How
worth it.
dare?
Uh,
Apparently,
yeah,
I'm only 6 points behind you. So
I know my team has crapped the bed.
yes.
Where am I?
they've
Do I
been-
want to
You're
know?
in second place, Jill. You're in second place. But nobody's catching Frankie. Either way. Yeah. So Eric, look, this is obviously you weren't able to get the victory last week, and your season is done. But we wanted to talk to you just because you were a rookie coming into this league, and there were a lot of you. And the Star Wars division has been touted as this incredibly detailed league, and we saw it this year and how different it was. Before we
We're
get
not
into all that,
biased at all.
no, well, yeah. I wanted to ask, how was your experience getting into the Schmoedown? You've been in it for 3 matches now. It's been 8-9 months.
Yeah.
How was your overall experience this year in the Schmoedown?
it's been just, I say this honestly. It's very competitive. So I'm working really hard, or was working really hard, but it's been so much fun. And it's been really rewarding because I talk a lot of Star Wars on my channel, but I've never gone this deep. And I never appreciated it more, honestly. So, I mean, the Schmoedown has at least given me that. And now I have so many facts in my head that I'll never use unless I get back to the Schmoedown. So we hope that we can have that happen one day.
That's how they get you to stay. That's how they
Yeah.
hook you. You're like, well, I know all this already, so I
Yeah.
guess I'll keep going.
But I always think like, well, if I retire, I can always sell all the study materials I made.
Oh God.
That's true.
Yeah.
I have so many note cards. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
So many note cards.
It's called a Google Doc, lady. Get one.
Okay,
Some
writing
people
it.
study different.
I know. I'm kidding.
You never know.
Fight you. I'll fight you. And we do have the current champion in the chat right now.
Oh, this guy.
there we go.
Harper.
Salute.
There we go.
There he
Salute
is.
to
That's okay. So
Harper.
I was gonna throw it to Molly, but I wanted to ask, since he got brought up, you faced what seemed like the toughest competitors at each time that you played them.
A murderer's row.
And it was Hoey, Harper, and Laura. And like, not that it's like a bad luck of the draw, but you just seem to be facing them at their height of their power, if you will, each time they played. Were you ever like intimidated, or were you kind of thought it as like a challenge?
No, never really intimidated. I mean, if anything, I always feel like you're going against the question writer, not necessarily an opponent. Like, I'm always trying to think, what are they going to throw at me next? I mean, an opponent is going to go. I always think they're going to go perfect. I am to go perfect. I'm never thinking about, oh, this person is not going to get something, because as we saw with my competitors, that's not the case. But yeah, I when I first entered and I didn't know a ton about the Schmoedown, and I started watching some of the early Star Wars matches and the level of questions there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got this.
Right.
These are easy. That's gonna be this is. I don't even have to work too much. And then as I caught up with the level of questions as the Schmoedown Star Wars division evolved, I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? I should have never have said yes. But that and there is the challenge. That's the excitement. I don't know who that person 3 rows back in this scene is. I need to know it. And now I do. And now I have this information in my head.
And you'll never look at something ever the same again.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. To the detriment of the guys that work with me, because we do a lot of reactions and reviews. And every single video, I always pop up with like, oh, this is kind of like this Star Wars character. Like, shut up! No more.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Molly, I'll shoot it to you first. You got anything for Eric?
Yeah. I just wanted to see like what's like the most surprising thing that you've experienced throughout this whole year, being like your first whole year of being in the Schmoedown.
Most surprising thing. I mean, the level of quality when it came to everybody that was a rookie this season. Like, I went in thinking like, well, we're all going to be at the same spot, all the rookies. So I feel pretty good. But then I hear about Dragon Con and Thomas Harper is, what he is, I told Harper whenever he beat me last time, in the last tournament, I said, hey, you beat me. You better win this tournament so I look a lot better.
Yeah.
That's why they put you against Laura.
Yeah.
Because
I said the same thing to Laura. I'm like, you better win this thing. All right. It's going to look great for me later. But that's honestly, I think the most surprising thing is after each match, kind of like developing a friendship with those competitors.
Yeah.
Awesome. I talked with John Hoey, Thomas Harper, Laura, she told me what her promo was going to be before the match. She's like, I'm thinking about this. I'm like, oh, that sounds great. I'll try to do something to tee up for you. Because, I knew that she had these great promos. And then the weekend I was supposed to film it, I just blanked. And Nerd Chronic is like, hey, do you got your promo? And I'm like, yeah, sure, definitely do. Let me go film it real quick. So my energy in that promo was all just tee up for Laura, because I know she's going to, throw it out of the park. And she did. So I'm going to tee her up, make hers just, enhanced. So that's why I was like, Laura freaking Kelly, Yeah.
We love seeing competitors supporting other competitors. Like, and I think that's a big part with the Star Wars division, especially because you guys are there's a lot more of you this season than there was in previous season, but you're still a rather small group, and you're all, no disrespect, you're all crazy, You're
All a bunch of psychos.
You're all just a bunch
Yeah.
of psychos. And
If I wasn't, I certainly am now.
And I feel like it's really cool to see that the Star Wars division has this really cool camaraderie that we don't really. I mean, we obviously see it throughout the entire Schmoedown, but there's just something about the Star Wars division where it doesn't matter who's playing who. If you lose to somebody, if you beat somebody, you're all just like, we're here to have a good time. I support you. Like, you go. Like, you're like the Kris Jenner in the crowd with like the camera. Like, yes. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to see.
Yeah, we all like have to support each other because we're all kind of rooting for each other. And it's like when someone misses something, it's not like, they didn't study enough. It's like, oh man, they missed that question, but now they'll know it for, next time. Or like, it's just fun learning new bits of trivia for like people like us who just like know so much. When you learn something new, it's like, oh, tell me more. Yeah. Too much.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you understand when watching the same 12 movies over and over and over again. You understand what that person has been through the last couple months, and you feel for them. And it's like your brothers in arms. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, now that you've watched these movies another like probably 200 times, did studying shift anywhere like in your like, you know what, I actually really appreciate this one more than I did than
yeah, definitely. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that, let's say, don't like the sequel trilogy, and I've always kind of really liked it, but I still in my head when I was watching them have this idea of, well, it's not what Star Wars do I want is what I would think about. Oh, I wish this would have happened, or I wish that wouldn't have happened. But studying for the Schmoedown, it is just what Star Wars is. Isn't it? There's no what you want, there's no what you didn't want. There's just what there is. And that was kind of a revelation for me, and just in the way that I was thinking about things. They became part of that living lexicon, which I didn't see them quite that way before studying, I think. So definitely the three newest movies.
Yeah.
And how happy are you that you get to stop watching the Clone Wars movie for a little while?
I love the Clone Wars.
Oh no!
Every time it's on the wheel and someone gets it, I'm always like, yes, take it. And they always spin away, and I'm like, I've studied it so much. I want to see if I'm good. Luckily, I had a couple Clone Wars movie questions in my match, so I was able to get that. Yeah. But no, I like watching it, honestly, because I love the Clone Wars series. We've covered the entire Clone Wars series on my YouTube channel twice, actually, with 2 different reaction series with different people checking it out. So, I mean, there is no Clone Wars series without those first 3 episodes, really, but that movie.
Fun comment here from the champ himself. Eric dropped a video about realizing Chewie gets injured in Return of the Jedi before your match, and it had me shook. Missed that detail completely in 30 plus years of watching it.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you're like, wait a minute, what is Chewie doing right now? You go back and you freeze frame. Did his leg just get injured? And then you watch the rest of the scene. You're like, he never gets up. He never fires a shot. He's just laying down. Why? You pay attention. Chewie is injured that entire fight in Return of the Jedi. They made an action figure with a cast on Chewie's leg. I have it. And I never noticed. There's also a cutscene of right after they save Han from Jabba. They're going back to the Millennium Falcon, and Luke and Han Luke and Lando, I think, are actually carrying Chewie on their shoulders. I'm like, the guy got injured. I never noticed. And then I put that video up, and so many people were like, I've watched this movie 500 times and never noticed that Chewie is seriously injured. Yeah.
Wow.
Molly, did you know that he was injured?
I did.
Yeah.
I've seen the action figure that he's talking about.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, it's little things like that where you're like, there's a Jawa with a Ponfron fanning Jabba. I never noticed the Jawa. The little stuff like that where you have to pay attention. Does this guy have a name? Of course he has a name. It's always fun to find someone that doesn't have a name.
Studying the like Jabba's palace scene is, you could spend weeks just in that scene alone, learning everyone's names and like just finding out little things
Mhm.
like Greedo's brother or cousin is there.
Cousin, yeah.
Beto.
Yep.
You're like, what?
No,
PJ is
Yep.
watching this right now, like, okay.
taking note.
Okay.
Yeah, Rogue One has Bib Fortuna's cousin or brother or something too. All those little
Yep.
details. It all honestly, like you watch the movies and you get to a scene that has that density of characters, and you almost dread it. It's like, oh no, okay, all right, get the notes out.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That does not sound like fun. I am not
No.
envious in this moment.
It's
No, me neither.
it's both fun and not fun because it's so rewarding when you spend that time and you get that question. Like my 5-pointer in the last match, I've studied that name over and over and over again. I know it instantly, and that feels so rewarding.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Real quick. No.
Tough fellas.
We will not make that.
That was not fun.
Yes.
I
do
love
I
it.
remember
Nope.
trying to.
Molly,
like,
no more. No more, Molly. The questions are
No.
harder because of you. No more.
I remember trying to make you study sheets for that, and then like I was like so proud of myself, and then the first one I got wrong, and you guys immediately were like, "No, this is wrong," and I was just like, "I'm done with this. Like, no, done."
The absolutely worst thing that happens, especially in big scenes like that, is I create a flashcard or some type of note. I source it, and then I find out like 2 months later that I actually spelled it wrong or I got something wrong, and I'm like,
Oh.
oh no, I'll never not think of the incorrect spelling.
No.
Yeah.
That's definitely happened.
I've done that before with like character names where
You're
I'll
a
just
monster. Sorry.
I'll like change up one letter and then
Yeah.
it's I've been pronouncing it wrong the whole time, or like
Mhm.
something in my notes is spelled wrong, and it's
Yep.
that can get you.
Yeah.
So, Jill, I'm gonna go to you next, but there's a question in the chat that I do want to bring up. He's our resident wave writer here on POV,
Oh.
and he's just starting fires right now. Said, ask Eric who
Oh,
Michael
Nick.
Tech is.
Okay, so in round 1, we had the question, who voiced Watto?
Mhm.
And I know as soon as I hear it, I do not know this answer. It's one of those questions, sometimes you get a question, you're like, oh crap, it's right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
And I just knew for a fact I do not have it.
Oh.
So what I did was I tried to make it look like I'm really thinking. I'm really writing it down. And I wrote Michael Tech, which is not a real name.
Oh, it's not.
There is no Michael Tech, but what I was thinking in that moment, because I'm always trying to think of something that's at least going to be fun, I'm thinking there's going to be someone, like he said Michael Tech so confidently, I'm going to Google that. And they're going to be like, who the hell is Michael Tech? So,
I
That's-
totally thought it was somebody.
I would've
Like, the
never
way you
known.
said it was like, is it Michael Tech? Like you were
Yeah.
just like throwing a name out, and I was like,
Yeah.
That's
is
awesome.
it Michael Tech? Like,
yeah, it was just,
Someone somewhere
Genius.
named Michael Tech is gonna
Yeah.
be watching the Schmoedown and be like, hey.
yeah.
that's me.
No, it's just one of those things where like you either, at least in my experience, I've never had a moment where I need to find the answer. It's like I know this answer or I don't. And in that one, I knew I did not have it because in my first match with John Hoey, I had a similar question. And when you get those types of questions that you never really heard before in the Schmoedown, it just opens all of these doors throughout 12 films. And you kind of like, okay, I need to go deeper on the cast list. I need to go deeper with voices, and that was just one that I did not have committed to memory. So I tried to make it fun, and I tried to confuse at least one person out there.
I was confused.
I think you got 3.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you were very successful.
Well,
That's for sure.
That's funny too, because if you answer something like that confidently enough, the people, whoever's on the desk, is going to be like, "Wait, am I wrong?"
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Because
Of
half
course,
the time
Rachel.
they don't know what they're talking about when it's a Star Wars match, so
Mhm.
they're just like, is there about to be a challenge?
Of course.
Jill, you want to go next?
Yeah, so you've been in one of our favorite factions this season, which is the Quirky Mercs.
Yeah.
Jill.
How Quirky? We got a
Who
Quirky
picks
Merc Jill
against
over here.
him? Yeah.
I had to go fantasy, and I was already paying Eric. It worked.
I was already paying him.
Okay.
How has that camaraderie been within your faction?
It was certainly something that made me feel extremely welcome extremely quickly. With the Mercs, they're also positive. The study sessions are really, really fun. But really, it was kind of me and Dimilan to kind of off to our side, and Bibbs and Coy would come in and check in on us, but other members too, just going in like throwing at questions like every once in a while. I know at one point Demolanta was just watching through some MCU movies and he just threw a question to the IG player, Swift, and it's just a lot of fun. I know that the factions are going to be very different next year, and I'm definitely ready for that. But I have my Quirky Works pen here still, so
yes, there we go.
There. Yeah.
So confirmed, we will be hopefully seeing you next season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping at least. Christian reached out to me saying like, "Hey, things are going to be different, but we like what you bring, and obviously you're having fun, and people are responding to matches that can have a little levity."
It's a joy. It's just so fun. Especially when it's competitors like you, and when you can just tell you're having a grand old time doing it.
Yeah.
And especially that one question that you had in your round 2 where you missed it and then Laura missed the steal, and you were like, "What a great name!" And she was like, "Right." It's those moments where I'm like, you can just tell that you guys are having fun, and I love that, especially in the Star Wars division, which is such a freaking intense division. It's nice to get that little breath of fresh air to see you guys just have a grand old time.
I agree. That question specifically, actually, it threw me. It was such a roller coaster because I know that ship, but I couldn't think of it. I have to go to multiple choice. And then PJ, I think, pronounced it Dewat. What'd he say?
It's Brian with your answer.
It's supposed to be the Dowager Queen, but he said like,
how do you say Dowager?
I don't know what he said, but it was something that didn't really click for me. And the other options was the Outrider, which I know the Outrider. That's the YT 2400 Rendar ship, and then it said Outbounder, and in my head I go Outbounder. I know that's a thing, so that's what I went with. But then I was thinking of Outbound Flight, which is I think it's a Legends book, so that got me too. Yeah.
Darn it, PJ.
That's what happens when you have that much just pure information in your head. You start to second guess yourself, and you're like, wait, I've heard that word or something similar to it. Maybe it's this thing.
Yeah, it got me in my second round too, because I had that question about C-3PO and what he said that his his joints were. The answer is frozen. But in my head, I had all of these Anthony Daniels lines going through my head, rusty innards, gears and circuits, and I couldn't get them out of my way.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like multiple choice. And then when I heard frozen, it instantly clicked. So that's unfortunate. You have to go down, but at least you didn't get the point there. And, the one I was talking about previously, the Dowager Queen, I was bummed I didn't get it. And then I'm so elated when she didn't get it. So
it doesn't happen very often. That's
not
exciting.
very often.
It does not.
For us to see, like, if one person in a Star Wars match doesn't know it, typically the other person will know it. But when neither people know it, I'm like, oh, yay, we're human.
And there's just like this uncontrollable like glee whenever you see your opponent slip up too. In her second round, she had the question, who voiced TC-14, and instantly in my head I go, Lindsay Duncan. I'm just waiting for her to say it, and then she kind of hesitates. And then goes multiple choice, and you kind of just get this thing like, please, God, don't get it. But she pulls it, and, as much as I'm bummed that I don't get to say that answer, there is a slight, like, I'm glad she was able to find that there. So, yeah.
It's funny because I feel like Star Wars is like, it is the most, like, seriously taken division, but at the same time, like, I think you guys are so psycho that it's like you guys don't take it that seriously. Yeah, it's just like, good job, and we're just like, what the hell?
It's just it's a ridiculous thing to ask people to do.
It is. It really is. It really is. It's the most and I've said this before, and I try and explain the Schmoedown to people, and they think I'm high on something. They're like people study to answer movie trivia questions.
I've said the same thing before.
For the internet. And I'm like, and there's WWE like storylines too. And they're like, like they have no clue what's happening. And and like, especially when it comes, the scene we've seen, singles and teams, people are known for having binders of study notes. And it's I don't know a single person in the Star Wars division who does.
Oh my God.
Literally, like if I still had it next to me for when I was helping Sean study, we have a book and I have at least 900 tabs in this book, just tabbing stuff. At least 1,200 note cards, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? What is this? What am I doing right now?
I'll tell you what. My season is done, so I found the best thing for me for studying, and this is also insane, but I found an app called Quizlet.
Is it Quizlet? We have a Quizlet too.
And Quizlet is awesome because, I do a lot of stuff here at the studio at work. If I have 5 minutes, I just pull up my app and I'm just answering questions, If I'm, anywhere, and I have a couple
Quizlet's
seconds,
great.
I throw it up, and that's been the best because all the other study materials, they're great, but there's nothing like being able to just rapid fire answer 30 questions, before you go to bed.
I don't even want to admit how many hours it took me to transfer note cards over to Quizlet. It was a long time.
Yeah.
But yes, Quizlet is
literally import it. What are you talking about?
I am a psychopath.
Yeah, clearly.
Yep.
Psychopath.
Okay, so we did get one Streamlabs that did come through. And this is a good transition to a next kind of conversation here. This one comes from Johnny5 for Life, one of our patrons here. Thank you, Johnny. He says, Eric, love your attitude and approach to the MTS. Hope to see you dip your toe in IG next year. Besides Star Wars, more of the night, the better. I watch lots of your videos on Blind Wave. Great fun. Favorites are your team's reactions to the John Wick movies.
Yeah, those are fun. Go check out those reactions. If you like John Wick, the reactions are always fun because we're kind of fight nerds. So, I've been asked this a lot, because of the nature of my channel. I sometimes wish I only did Star Wars, but we do everything. And sometimes it feels like way too much. But
I'm always like, don't just do Star Wars.
But, I watch the Inner Geekdom matches, and I kind of get the feeling like I did when I started watching the first Star Wars matches. It's like, well, these are good questions, but they're not super, super deep like the Star Wars has become. So I am watching those matches, and I feel like I think I could do this. But then you always feel like, well, if I did that, I would be, watering down my study time for something I'm really passionate about, which is specifically the Star Wars division. But you never know. I mean, that would be a lot of fun to dip my toe into IG next year.
Yeah. I know when Alex decided to get into it, he was just like really excited to have so many movies to watch and choose from as far as like studying. He was like, oh, I get to watch all these other movies that he was really excited about.
Stop lying. He wasn't excited. You were excited that you
yeah, I was excited
for the time
too.
being.
I was like, yeah, I would like to watch a Marvel movie once in a while. Sure.
Now, once I realized the level of competition and the level of questions that this season was going to have, I put everything into Star Wars. So now that I feel like I'm kind of up to that level as most of the other competitors now, finally in my third match, I kind of feel like, all right, yeah, maybe I could focus on some other stuff. But, work, what I do here, we watch so many shows and review all these things. I already have thousands of characters and storylines in my head on top of trying to do Star Wars. So, I think I'll feel better managing my time and my thoughts next year when it comes to that stuff.
Interesting. We did get one quick Streamlabs that came through from Captain Holt. Said, hello, Eric. Bone. I don't know if you know what that means. So there you go.
From Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Captain.
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I've never seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, Jake, you would love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
So good. The series just wrapped up.
I've never been a half-hour sitcom person. Like, I've never watched The Office, Parks and Rec, How I Met Your Mother, none of it. So I just never try.
Yeah.
But
I think you'd really like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I say cool way too much.
Is that where that's where that's from?
That's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I say that all the time too.
It's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's why I thought that you've seen it because you do it all the time, and I'm like, rad.
No?
Okay. Yeah, watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
I have. I've heard
thank you, Jill, for reaffirming. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
So I have a question now that your season is unfortunately over. And Thomas Harper does have the belt. Tournament is still going. Do you see Thomas keeping the belt all year long, or do you see someone else like Miss Damon or Laura Kelly or anybody else stepping in?
Like I said, I'm partial to Laura just so it makes me feel better. But I know Harper is really enjoying that belt. I follow him on social media, and he's taking that thing everywhere.
He's
so.
taking it on lakes.
Kayaking.
Everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
This man.
he's taking it on dates.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he keeps it around. And obviously, I mean, his when he came in the division and shook everything up, I mean, I want people to be rewarded for the hard work they put in. I put a lot of hard work in, and there's that little thing where it's like, oh man, I'm 0-3, that sucks. But I mean, he put in a lot of work, so it's gonna be fun. I have this whenever I watch a new Star Wars match that I'm not in, there's still that's kind of like thing in the back of your head where you still feel like you're playing. You're still nervous if there's something that makes you doubt. So I kind of get to just enjoy the rest of the tournament this year. So I'm looking forward to that.
There you go.
There's a couple people in the chat going with Mrs. D. Malanta, which is interesting because she's on the Damon side of the bracket.
I know.
Mhm.
She's facing one of the Damons.
Yeah. And we can't forget about one Joseph Scrimshaw as well, who I'm so excited to see return.
Don't forget Harper's favorite person, Gold Leader.
Harper's favorite.
I don't think he's. I don't think he's any of our favorites. I'm sorry, Gold Leader, if you're watching, but it's just
Gold
part
Leader.
of
Gold
character,
Leader.
so.
I love Gold Leader.
You know what I mean. You know.
I know. Yes.
Crew, do we have anything else that you would like to ask Eric before we kind of?
I just want to say a quick comment that your community and your wave riders are some of the most genuinely sweet people. They're so supportive, and we've had a number of them who have started watching.
Mick is the big one who has jumped in and joined the View crew. Like that.
He joined and it's really cool to see. And whenever I see wave riders, they're just the most welcoming and sweetest people. So I just want to give you a huge cheers for creating this just absolutely amazing community, because y'all are absolute peaches, every single one of you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. It's one of the things I'm proudest about our channel is that we were able to create this positive community. I feel like it's kind of a shortcut, or it's very easy to get people hating together, to create negativity, and people come back and that kind of fuels, but that burns out. And it's not something that I want to go and pursue. So on our channel, it's very much like, people say that I never dislike anything. That's not true. I'm just really good at disliking things. I'm really good at showing something I don't like. Famously, we talked about it a little bit last time. Like, I don't like the Inquisitor lightsaber. But when people see that type of weapon in Star Wars, their first thing is like, I want to see Eric react to this. Still make it fun, still make it positive, and people come back for that. We have a good channel. We're not the most subscribed channel by far, but we're one of the most supported on Patreon for a reason,
100%.
because people want to continue that, and it's been life changing because it's my job now.
Yep. And I wish more people did that too, because guys, you can critique something without being a jerk about it. Let's just all take note from Eric and the Wave Riders. Let's just all live, let's all flow with the tide and just be cool to each other.
Yeah. It's more rewarding, and it's just better to worry about having a positive time on the internet and having a positive community, because YouTube rewards negativity, and it's really crappy. So to stay away from that and still be successful and have a really cool following is difficult, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, and you guys are going to be transitioning into this soon, but there's a lot of negativity that gets thrown at you whenever you're a content creator. It's kind of the 1% rule of fandoms, right? Like 1% of a fandom just sucks.
Yeah.
So the bigger the fandom, the more toxic people there are going to be.
Yep.
And that's true across every single thing. And so, I get plenty of terrible, absolutely terrible messages. And it's really easy to look over 9 out of 10 great messages, and you see that one and you focus on it. And that's the only one you respond to. And then it just ruins your night, But over the last 6 years we've been doing this, I kind of just let that flow over you, and every single comment, even the terrible ones, I'm like, okay, is there any truth to this? And try to find that truth and work on that on yourself. but just let the other hate go, because you don't know how terrible of a day that person had, or they don't have this
Absolutely.
information that would have colored their opinion differently, or
Yep.
you know, it doesn't matter if that person is a hater. You're still, you know, look at all this other positivity, and those are the people that keep coming back. The haters leave.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well said.
Words to
All right,
live by.
we did get a Streamlabs while we were talking there from the one and only Nerd Chronic himself. Eric, thank you so much.
Thank
And he
you.
said, congrats, Eric, on a great first year. And we've talked about this. 0-3 is literally nothing in Star Wars. You
Yeah.
proved you absolutely
Mhm.
belong in the MTS family. We will watch your career with great interest.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I would not be here if it were not for Nerd Chronic.
Yep.
He was the
Yeah.
one that told Christian, I think that you should maybe go for this guy. He's got a decent sized channel and he really likes Star Wars. So, if it
Well,
wasn't
that
for
and
Nerd Chronic, I
he-
wouldn't be here.
He actually reached out to us as well and said, hey, get this guy
Mhm.
on the channel, let him promote
Mhm.
himself. And
Yeah.
so we would not have met as well if it
Mhm.
wasn't for Nerd Chronic.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did want to ask, because we had you on very early on in the year. Did we ask you our
Yes.
classic? We did ask our POV question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Okay,
believe
I just
so.
wanna
I,
make sure.
I had said that I'd like junior mints for
Okay.
candy
right.
and
right.
Nachos and cheese for
Yes.
movie snack. Yeah.
Mm.
Not together though.
Yeah.
Not together.
Well,
Well,
Oh, God.
maybe.
Little sweet, little salty. Yeah, it works.
Perfect. A little bit of minty in there, you know.
Well, perfect. Eric, can't thank you enough for
Yeah.
hanging out with us for a little bit. We really appreciate it. Great rookie season in this division, as crazy as it is. And we can't wait to see what happens next year. We're really excited to see what happens for you in 2022.
Mhm.
I'm excited as well, but just like my teammate Andrew DeMolanta, I'm so ready for a break.
I bet.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers to that. Enjoy your time off, and
Yep.
we look forward to the next time we're doing this.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you,
Adios.
Eric.
Bye.
So sweet.
Always a
So
good time.
sweet.
Always a good time.
Always.
Yeah, they have. and
Always.
he always brings a lot of good people with him as well. I did want to bring up one fun comment. I have to scroll back up a little ways. Oh God, where did it go?
There's so many. I know.
Oh, here we go. Vapion, can I critique Brian's taste in sports teams? There.
No,
we go.
because
As
it's
long as you do it
fantastic.
nicely. As long as you're not a jerk about it.
Because they're fantastic. Fantastic.
All right, so let's transition into this. We were talking about it a little bit there at the end. Some very ugly stuff has been happening.
Hold on. Not for you. Not for you.
Oh,
Ryan Ward deserves a break too.
he does.
It's funny. I actually just talked to him this last week. I was like, hey, I have this small little thing as a little request. And he goes, I told him, I said, I'm in no rush. He goes, yeah. Like, I just started spectacular stuff. Like, I'm going to be a
Yeah,
while.
he's got a lot on his plate. Yeah.
I go, dude, no worries. But yeah, so it's been, look, we've had the internet community and everything, not just Schmoedown, always has this little ugliness to it. No matter how positive anything, and Eric was talking about, I'm sure Molly can speak on it as well with their channel as well.
Molly doesn't get any negative comments or anything. Yeah, right.
In the Star Wars community,
No.
never.
Yeah.
No.
A woman talking about Star Wars? What?
Yeah, Tim.
So
Wait,
over the
women are
last
allowed to talk about Star Wars now?
I know, it's so weird.
No.
over the last couple weeks, some ugly things have come out about certain competitors getting messages, people sliding into not just like Twitter, Instagram DMs, but Facebook, which has been considered the kind of home version of social media, right? It's friends, family, most of the time is what it is. I know the Schmoedown group lives on Facebook, but we've been hearing about some stuff that competitors have been getting. And last year, when we did a Ladies Appreciation Night, this came up in a very big like section of the Schmoedown because a number of women in the league were getting essentially harassed. And so we've known about this, but it's now getting to a point where messages are being sent because of losses, character work, anything that people can pick at. People are reaching out and harassing these players. And we talked about it a little bit a few weeks ago about character versus knowledge versus the person, right? And separating them. So I wanted to take the time to kind of open the conversation about the things that are happening, what needs to be done to stop those people that are doing that, essentially just get out of here. And I titled the show "Don't Be a Hater." Like, just don't be a hater. Like, it's a simple saying, but I wanted to open the floor to anybody and chat as well. If you guys have something to say as well, make sure you put that in there. You guys can use that Streamlabs link as well. But the floor is open. Whoever wants to start us off to kind of what's been going on, the floor is open.
Don't be here.
Don't be. Okay. I mean, I'll start. I'll hop on my soapbox. I do this all the time. And it's like, I feel like people forget a lot of the time that the people in the Schmoedown are surprised real life human beings, like, and I mean, I'll give an example. Here's the thing. People were coming we got comments in one of our videos last week about how I may have gone too hard on Bateman. And they said, oh, you were attacking him personally. I was not attacking him personally. That was me. If Bateman was not a heel character, I would not have said what I said. That was all going after the boss, the character. And I have talked to Bateman in person before at his birthday party, actually. I pulled him aside. I said, hey, so like, if I ever dig into you, like, kind of deep in our show, I just want you to know it's all towards your character. It's nothing personal. That, like, I love you as, like, a human being. And every time I meet someone new who comes to the Schmoedown, I can never stop singing the praises of Ben Bateman, because he is legit one of the nicest people you could meet in this space. So there's an instance where you go after the character. When you're a heel in the Schmoedown, you kind of sign this, like, not spoken contract that, like, you're gonna get ish from people because that's your character, But when it comes to people, especially direct messaging somebody on Facebook, which is what Jake said is kind of like the more, like, this is actually me, this is my private, like, thing. I don't post as the boss on Facebook. And you're DMing them and saying, so about that loss, better luck next time, with a whole bunch of laughing emojis and GIFs. It's like, what does that what does that do for you? Like, do you just want to, I don't get that. Like, do you want to rile someone up? Like, what are you trying to achieve in doing that? And it's like I said, obviously the heels are going to get ish because they're heels. That's the whole part of the game. You need to separate the character and the person. Like, like, and I've, from personal experience, like, whenever, a lot of the times when I do post interviews or whatever, like, example for the King Arthur and final exam match. As soon as that match ended, I'm very good friends with Paul. And so I messaged him and was like, hey, tough loss, but, like, keep your chin up, because I know how good you are and you're going to come back swinging, and, like, positivity. That's obviously fine, because I'm not being a jerk and rubbing it in his face that he lost and he's done for the season, unless he decides to cash in his belt, which we'll see. But I'll say this too. I feel like I know a lot of competitors, and it's one of these things that they have to do. And I've had to start doing it, where I've made it a rule for myself on Facebook specifically, where if I can't point you out of a crowd and I've never had a conversation with you, like, in person, or, like, if you're, like, in our Patreon or anything like that, I'm not gonna accept your friend request. I'm sorry. Please don't take it. Please do not take it personally. It's not that I don't want to get to know you. It's that Facebook is, like, my personal private, like, that's why I have it set on private, like, and I don't, so for me, and I think, unfortunately, a lot of competitors should probably start doing that, because unfortunately we get fans like that who are gonna, DM you over stupid nonsense. So
I might be wrong on this, but because I know on other social medias you can't message someone unless you're friends with them. Can you message anyone on Facebook?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Unless they have it blocked.
Yeah, so you would have to find a way to block your messages from anybody, which obviously some people may just not take the time to do so.
Yeah, I think I have mine set to, like, just not notify me if I get messages, because I don't really use Facebook that often. Unless I'm friends with them, it'll notify me, but otherwise it doesn't tell me if I get any messages, so I don't look at them.
Yeah.
But yeah, people don't have any manners anymore.
No.
I don't know if it's the fact that like a lot of people are a little bit younger and like grew up having the internet this whole time.
I just imagine Molly being like, "You young kids."
Well, it's true though. Like if you grew up and having the internet for most of your life, and it seems like some of the younger audience like doesn't know how to have manners on the internet, because like I don't know, like if you're gonna say something to someone online, think about, would you say this to this person's face?
You stole my point, woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you say this to that person to their face in a public place where other people could see it? If the answer is no, don't say that to them on the internet, because
you don't have the balls to say that looking someone in the eye.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be sending it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. And it's like, you know, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. Like, you don't have to leave that
spam.
crappy
Oh,
content.
that's when you know we're popular, is when we get spam in the chat.
Thank you, Eric Whiteley. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Eric.
Rachel, whoever, I think it was Rachel who probably did that. You rock.
Cheers. That's when you know we did it, guys. We made
That's
it.
the same site from last time.
It is the
Why
same
do I
one,
know
yeah.
that?
They should really just like change it up. At
Come
least.
on. Come on now.
What works, I guess. But yeah, it's like if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all, because you don't have to leave that crappy comment. You don't have to. Just like take 2 seconds. Like, do I really want to say this to this person, knowing that it's gonna stir some stuff up, and probably, you know, if you were getting a comment like that or a DM like that, like it would probably make you feel crappy, especially if like you just lost a match and you spent months studying your heart out, studying so hard for something, and people have the nerve to just like, oh, sucks for you, I guess, like maybe study harder next time. Like, no, that is not okay.
I don't mean to derail the conversation, but Chuck here. But hey,
right? I mean, now you know where to go.
Chuck,
what was it? Webcam,
hot web girl something.
Love you, Chuck. Thank you. Just so you know, Chuck, it was webcams-chat.com.
Maybe they'll sponsor us.
All right, so I did want to bring up a comment real quick from Thomas Harper here, and he says, as someone who goes out of my way to be interactive, it's a real double-edged sword. A small but noisy minority think that equals fair game for them to say whatever they feel like. I don't get where the mindset of, you know, I'm involved in this community, I'm allowed to say whatever I want. That doesn't make sense to me, because in any aspect of life, whether you're, like, say you're at a job, for example, right? Just because you're a part of that company doesn't mean you get to say whatever you want whenever you want.
Yeah.
There's certain like steps to be getting there, and even in this aspect, it's very different, obviously. But that you two made a great point about saying it to your face. If you would never say it to someone's face, why would you say it? Mine is simply as just like, what's the point? Like, what is the point? That person, it just so happened that Bateman saw these messages. Some people, like Molly had said, she might not ever get notified these messages were even sent. So like, what's the point of actually even sending them if someone may not ever see them? One may look at them and move on with their life forever. You're not only wasting their time, you're wasting precious time that you have on this earth. And if you're going to be that type of person, then just go away. Like, there's no room in this community for people who are taking time out of their day, whether they're at work, home, whatever. And I imagine these people sitting in their mom's basement somewhere. That's what I think of. Just sending root. You're not
be
in
nice
your
to moms.
You're not in your mom's basement.
Be nice to moms.
Nice to moms.
That's not a
mom didn't do.
mom.
I'm being funny.
The moms are probably lovely.
The moms are probably lovely. They're not. They're letting their children stay rent free.
Exactly.
I always imagine.
Moms are lovely.
I always imagine Sid from Toy Story.
No, you know, so it's funny. You know what I imagine? And this person in this movie actually isn't like this, but in Live Free or Die Hard, Kevin Smith plays a guy named Warlock who sits in his mom's basement. and he's like a computer hacker genius, and that's what I always think of when someone sends a rude comment, because he's sitting in his mom's basement. Anyway,
it's the thing that I like. I when it comes to like, why do people do this? I kind of pull up my former psychology background. I can't talk today, and also when I used to work with children, and when it comes to, I'm just giving an example. So Thomas and Gold Leader, they give each other ish, on social media. That's their shtick. That's what they do. And when fans see that, they go, well, they're doing it, so I can too. It's like, well, Susie did it, so that makes it okay. It's like, no, it doesn't. Like, they clearly have camaraderie where this is okay between the two of them. Were you personally invited to join in on it? Clearly not. So like, and I think that's a mindset with a lot of people is like, well, they're doing stuff, so why can't I put my 2 cents in? It's like, that's not how any of this works.
They probably messaged each other privately and was like, hey, here's this thing that I want to try to do for the story.
That's what Shannon and I
don't know. Thomas might be that mean towards me.
Thomas might just be a jerk. I'm just kidding. But that's
Could you imagine if in real life Gold Leader is Thomas and Thomas is Gold Leader? What?
The scandal.
Whoa.
But so like, I mean, that's what
there you go.
Back when Sean was on the Den last season and Shannon and I were going at it on Twitter, we were messaging each other behind the scenes, laughing our
I remember
butts
you
off.
telling us that. You go, this is hilarious. People are thinking it's real, and we're literally messaging behind.
We're messaging each other in the background. Yeah. Sean texted me and went, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's fine. We're DMing each other as we're doing it. Like, we're having a freaking ball." Like, so, so obviously that is like, that's part of the Schmoedown. That's part of the character work. That is a big part of why we love and appreciate the Schmoedown.
No, she genuinely hates him.
No, that's pure hate.
Is that even a feud still? I don't know how that got started.
Apparently.
It's not a feud anymore because Molly ended it.
And it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like, unfortunately, again, I'm going to go the psychology card. People are lonely and they just thrive on getting a reaction from people. Yeah. And unfortunately, the biggest reaction you're going to get from people is negativity. Hello, look, we're doing a whole show about it. Congratulations. Like,
yeah, it honestly does suck that we're taking time out of our show where we can happily be talking about something other than the Schmoedown. It's very exciting. We're talking about the negative side of this community. And it sucks. And look, every major thing, whether it's sports or some kind of like Comic-Con or something, there's always going to be a negative side of it all. There always will be. But there is a certain line. Okay, there you go. There's a certain line that should never be crossed, and it's clearly been crossed way too many times.
Yeah.
Way too many times, and to a point where Ben Bateman literally needed to say it on a public platform like Schmoedown Backstage last week. He had to take the time out of the show where he hosts and has been for years to talk about the matches going on and talk to guests. Ben Goddard got off the screen. Ben Bateman had to take 10 or 15 minutes out of their time to talk about this because of how important and big it is inside this community. That sucks.
And
I challenge the competitors. If someone does that, put them on blast. Take a screenshot, put it in Facebook. That person's going to get shunned out of the community.
I agree. I agree because I was literally going to say a lot of people do the, just ignore it card, but I mean, I'm going to follow my queen, which is Rachel Cushing, and she said, no, you need to point that ish out. You need to put that like into the ether so people know, because the only way to get them to stop is if you have a discussion about it.
Well, and that's also, I'm glad you brought her up, because for those who maybe didn't know and maybe watching, Rachel didn't leave because she just wanted to retire. She left mainly because she was getting messages like this.
Death threats.
She was getting hate like this. That's the reason why we no longer have Rachel Cushing inside the Schmoedown.
It's sad.
Just so you all know that. One of the greatest players we've ever seen. That's the reason.
And I don't blame her in the slightest. And it's really unfortunate that happened to such an amazing woman in this community. But I'm going to follow what my queen tells me. And like I said, that is Rachel Cushing. And if I see any of that ish, I am screenshotting it. I am tagging you in it. I'm like, I'm gonna put you on blast. So if you want to send me a DM, or if you want to send one of my friends a DM and they send it to me and going like WTF, I am going to blast it. Like, not sorry. Don't attack me. Don't attack my friends.
Yeah,
It's
it's ridiculous. Just the amount of shit that like, not just like
Language.
Sorry.
Okay, Chris Evans. Calm
Yeah.
down.
I have to. Okay.
Christian cursed on his Q&A, okay? We can have a couple
Well,
of
that's
curse words
Christian.
here,
Christian's
too.
having issues with his dog and power and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
So it was a normal day.
yeah, facts. Go
But like,
ahead.
I don't want to say women are like the only people getting crappy messages, because obviously it's not the case. But like, it's really crappy to see women getting, especially like a lot of messages and DMs and like just being talked about in general, like
for
more
losing
so,
a match.
yeah,
Just
more
for
so
losing.
than
like
the dudes
what?
in the thing. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've gotten death threats from people who will just make like throwaway account after throwaway account after throwaway account.
Why?
After I block them, they'll make a new one and just like fire them off. And it's like, what are they doing? Like, what kind of people do that? They're psycho.
They're literally, they are literal sociopaths. Like, I don't know. Like, none of my friends would do that stuff. And that's why I am not friends with any of the people who would do this. And if I knew someone who did that, I'd be like, bye, bish. Like, no.
Yeah, that's zero tolerance. There's zero
none.
tolerance for that.
None.
We did get a Streamlabs real quick from one Tim Sims. So I want to make sure I bring this up.
Thank you, Tim Sam.
He said, I had conversations with several others in the infotech sphere, saying that we need a long conversation about social media being weaponized for all negativity, including harassment, which we're talking about in the Schmoedown community. Which is, look, social media can be used for a lot of great things, right?
Yeah.
We've seen what it can be used for in positivity-wise.
Smash cancer.
On the flip side, exactly. On the flip side of that, it really can be used for a very large negative impact on a lot of different things.
Because there's no consequences for someone sending someone a death threat on the internet. There's literally no consequences for that person.
And you can report it and they'll be like, oh, this didn't like go against our community guidelines. It's like they literally threatened to kill a guy, like, or a woman. And it's like, but you're not gonna, or they'll just make a new account. Like, it's
it's exhausting. It's like, I can see the argument both ways to, you know, point the people out and put them on blast, or to just ignore it because it's exhausting to really get into the nitty gritty of the stuff. That's, I mean, I tend to just like leave a lot of it alone, or just like use that block button, use the mute button, because like I just don't want to see it. If I don't see it, I don't know about it, and then whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do want to say I don't want to be a Debbie Downer for this entire thing. I do want to also point out that I feel like this season, the community has grown a lot, and there's a lot more people that are calling this stuff out.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing thing. That's a good thing. Like, we're seeing how people are reacting to players like Marisol, players like Paige, and it's definitely, I've definitely seen a really positive change since I started watching the Schmoedown like 4 years ago now. So don't want to be a Debbie Downer this entire time. I have definitely seen a very positive uphill going, you know, for the community. But as we said, like every community, you're going to get those few. It's the loud, very loud, itty bitty minority.
Yeah, the 1% of
the 1%. Like Eric said,
being
the 1%.
negative are just they're the loudest. And you know, there's a ton of people who watch the Schmoedown, love the Schmoedown, and like don't ever comment, don't ever say anything in the live chats and stuff like that. They're just happy to be watching this stuff, and so sometimes we just see a lot of the hate because they're the only ones in there stirring stuff up.
Yeah, it's and it's unfortunate, but this is not going to be the last time we have this conversation.
It's not. It sucks, but I think the best thing that we can do is maybe those people who do receive it just speak up about it and we take care of it. Because I know that the said person who was harassing Ben Bateman, and I know Thomas said that he actually received some messages as well.
It's not the first time.
Well, that person was officially kicked, so they're no longer. I know that it's just from the group. They can find different ways to get in. I get that, but they were officially kicked. And if that's something that can possibly be done more, find a way to get there faster, maybe that's something that does need to happen, because our players, the people that we love watching on a weekly basis, should not have to go through that just for playing movie trivia. It is movie trivia. We're not like deciding the next president here or something. Like, we're playing movie trivia as a fun event on the internet. It should not be getting to that point.
No,
So.
no, it's
Don't be idiots.
And
I should have said that. Don't be idiots instead of don't be a hater. Damn.
Don't be idiots. It's simple.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't want someone to critique you, don't do it to them. Just don't be an idiot. It's not that hard.
It's
Fact.
not that hard to be a good
not
person.
that hard. Yeah.
Treat
not
other
that hard.
people how you would like to be treated. That's if more people would just live that way. I guess unless people want to be crapped on all the time about their performance, but I doubt that.
No.
I mean, if you want to see these people go away, if you want to see this thing go away, keep doing it, because then people are going to leave.
Yeah.
And people are going to get tired of it, and it's going to go away.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Like, I mean, just don't be an idiot. It's not that hard.
Hashtag.
We did get a super chat real quick from Tim Sim.
Tim.
Unless we get governmental regulation on negative social media attacks, we need to be more vigilant.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a free speech thing, and they can say that ish unless it's like legit a death threat, then that is not protected under the First Amendment. But stuff like what was said to Bateman is definitely a free speech thing. But like that protects you from government retaliation, not community retaliation. So,
Brian.
So anyway.
There's a lot of good comments in the chat.
Just don't be jackass.
I applaud all of you for, saying your true feelings on the matter. Justin, I know you're saying a lot right now, and I appreciate I'm reading them, man. So thank you for all your comments for everyone. But I think we have enough. We spent enough time on this negative aspect of it. Let's get back to some good Schmoedown stuff.
Yay!
Because there was some really, really good Schmoedown stuff that happened this last week. Specifically on Friday, we had two really good matches. One of them ended up being a little bit more surprising than the other, and it transitioned into someone being sent to Spectacular for the very first time as a competitor, which is really cool. We're going to hold off on that because we're going to talk about Friday's day match. We had William Bibbiani facing Ty Lieberman in a single second-round match. A vet versus a rookie, one of the Finstock Exchange's very, very strong rookies, and he came up just short. It seems like Horror was his downfall, as that's Bib's strongest category, and Bibbiani walks with victory on this one in a very, very narrow fashion, and he moves on. Ty Lieberman's season is officially over. Very good rookie season, but it is over. Jill, I'll let you start this one off. What'd you think of this one?
I mean, this is one of those matches where I was happy with no matter the outcome because I love Ty and I love Bibbs. So no matter, have a good night, Jeffrey. So no matter what happened, I wasn't upset about it. But I mean, I love Ty, and you can tell when he spun Horror, he was just like you could kind of tell that was lights out. Because that's not a strong category of his, but he's definitely one of those people where it's
Hi, Koi.
Hi, Koi.
That you said it right. I'm not allowed to say it on air, but hey, love it.
We'll let you say it, Koi.
Thank you.
I'll do it.
No.
Christian's gonna yell at us. But I mean, and I'm very happy for Bibbs. I think he can go far in this tournament because it's freaking the beast. He's a legend in the game. But there's no way this is the last we're seeing of Ty Lieberman. Are you kidding me?
Oh God, no.
He's great at trivia, and that freaking character work that he does, like, hello.
I'm just interested in what the exchange does with all their rookies, like, because they're only allowed to keep so many people next year. Like, what happened? is Finstock like paying them on the side to screw up everyone else's plan next year, but they're really working for the exchange, but they're not on the exchange? Like, what is happening?
Some of the old
That's
fogies are
gonna
getting
be
put
an-
out to pasture. Then
I feel like Griffey Nooms and King Khan are almost a lock to be on that team, right? Right?
If they continue doing what they've
And-
won
and
one
Yeah.
match.
And obviously, a spot is open with Roka now retiring. Could one of those possibly go to Ty?
I like the idea of just having agents of chaos.
Yeah, you're just like paying them on the side.
I love
They're
I
doing their
could,
business.
and that's the thing. I could totally see Ty not getting drafted to the exchange and being just complete agent of chaos because that
100%.
seems like right up his
I love
alley.
it.
It's like
No.
Laura at the beginning of the season when she was all corruption but on swag, right?
Exactly.
Ty is just fighting for the exchange but not on the exchange.
Yeah.
And let's all be honest. Between the four of us, it's upsetting to see Ty lose, but at the same time, now we get to hang out with him at Spectacular with wine
With one.
and
Wine.
probably have a really good time.
Yeah.
With wine. I mean, true.
And shrimp cocktail.
Ty
Oh,
Lieberman,
yeah.
if you don't bring me a shrimp cocktail.
I'm down for Ty. We're gonna have to
Sir.
invite you to the POV house for some shrimp cocktails.
Yeah, oh yeah. He gets an invite to the POV house. Faux show.
That might be a good time. Oh, I'll save that for later. Never mind.
Some
Never mind.
classy shrimp cocktail.
Classy.
Speaking of, I bought my plane tickets today.
She's
Yay!
coming, guys.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Yo,
Shrimp
POV
dragon.
house about to be wild, spectacular weekend, and you guys are gonna see at least one night of it. So
Oh, I'm gonna
if
prep
any-
my liver.
If anything about her at a Halloween thing showed you on Instagram, wait till that weekend.
that Instagram
Oh,
story is
it's-
about to be double.
It's gonna be double that. yeah.
Double.
It's just gonna. All you're gonna hear is like, just like
Yeah.
us.
There's gonna be
so many
much-
voices.
So much drunk Disney karaoke singing is gonna happen. It's gonna be just beautiful. It's gonna be a beautiful thing.
As long as Molly performs Agatha all along, I'll be happy.
Yes.
All right, so any final thoughts on Ty and Bibbs? Brian, Molly, do you guys have anything?
I mean, we love
the-
them both.
Yeah, they both have such big personalities that it was just really fun watching them compete, and I hope Ty is still doing this next season, even if he doesn't get drafted. I think he would be a great agent of chaos to
He has
still
to
be playing in
I
this.
kind of would rather him be an agent of chaos.
I completely agree with you.
I don't see him on any other faction. I don't.
Plus, we have to get him on
Yeah.
happy hour.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
we've
Oh,
never
yeah.
had wine as a signature drink. So
We haven't. Ooh.
I could just see you and your brother like taking naps, like
Tag
absolutely
team
Chris.
naps.
You know,
Yeah.
Chris, count me in because with these three, I might need some sleep, so I'll come over there. I'll come
yeah.
over there.
This is
I'm an old
going to be
man.
the grandpa
an
of
old
the
man.
house. Yeah,
He's gonna peek the door open. Can you guys like turn it down
And-
just
oh,
a bit?
man.
Gabby, she'll be with us.
I'm gonna
He'll
have to
just
take some
be-
like 5-hour energies or something to
Yeah.
stay. up
I'll
to
bring
date.
I'll bring Z quills for the. I'll bring Z quill for the class so we can all just pass out later. Like it'll be fine.
I'm gonna need it.
I'm curious though because with Bibbs moving on, there's that chance of David or potentially seeing James again from
Yeah,
last
so it's
year.
right here.
Oh.
I'll go and bring up the bracket. Here we go. So he will face either David Del Rio or James White.
Or James. Ooh,
I'm sure.
That's a
James-
nice. That's a scary little corner down there.
it is.
I'm sure James would love another shot at Bibbs.
I
You
think
almost
it would
had
be
him.
like that
Mhm.
Prince. It'd be like that that's that classic story of someone getting revenge, right? If it were to
Yeah.
happen. He's been playing great. He's been playing great
Yeah.
too. So.
Yeah. Interesting little matchups.
All right, well, let's get to the big one here. We did have a pay-per-view on Friday, and it was the IG tournament final. Winner to Schmoedown Spectacular. And in KO fashion, Robert Parker has officially punched his ticket. And he is living up to the dream that he set out to last year. It's been a long time coming for Robert Parker, but he is officially in line to possibly have a belt in his hands if he can beat either Mike Kalinowski or Alman Ramoses at Spectacular. That's a long ways away, but he faced Saul, and Saul, I love Saul so much, he just struggled.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it a little bit privately. This may be the case. I'm not sure, but maybe a little just deer in the headlight situation in person, maybe getting to him because it's happened twice in a row with Collision and now this event. Nothing against the way he played, but it seems like he just struggles when he's under the lights, which, you know what? That happens to some people. It really does happen to some people.
He said, I think in his post interview, that he felt kind of like he was just in a fog.
Yeah.
And I definitely know that feeling, and it sucks to be there. But yeah, I mean, he had a pretty good attitude after the fact, which
A
is
little bit
nice.
more positive this time.
Yeah. But it sucks to be in that foggy place where you're just like, I can't catch a break.
Yeah. And you can't, I mean, like, it's such a different, like, I couldn't even, oh, God.
Nerd Chronic! I'm
we're
going to lock you down,
have to
Nerd Chronic, for a documentary on the POV.
We're gonna have to film.
Can you
some
imagine
kind
if, like,
documentary.
each
We
of
need to
us
hire
were, like,
someone with an actual camera just to
no,
follow us
each
around.
of us has to wear one of those GoPros.
Oh my God, we
Yes.
should wear.
No,
a
I
tent,
can.
though.
So I can totally see us doing like an office style
We should
thing,
so
where
do
like
that.
one of us sitting there and goes, "Molly's been singing. It's been Agatha all along for the past 20 minutes," and then you
Yeah.
see like the person like fade
I can
out,
just hear,
and then
"It's
Molly's
been
behind them.
Agatha."
Like, just like
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Molly's going to get off the plane with her karaoke machine and be like,
let's go.
It's carry-on size.
what were we even talking about a second ago?
You were talking about
Saul.
Saul.
Oh, yeah.
Colin Robert.
I genuinely forgot. I was like,
What were we
I have
talking about?
no idea what we were just talking about.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I give anyone that has to play in front of people credit, because you are going to literal opposite sides of the spectrum, sitting in the comfort of your own home, to being in front of a crowd of people who you don't know, being recorded.
Multiple cameras.
Those are literally complete opposites. I can't do it. I have a hard enough time doing it like this when we do our freaking reactions. If I had to stand up in front of people and do it, yeah, okay. Like, I'm going to be like looking around like, oh, someone asked me a question. Like, I give credit to anyone that can do it in front of a crowd, because I sure as hell wouldn't be able to. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that way.
And worrying about being entertaining and being able to pull the knowledge out of your brain at the same time. It's a lot to juggle when the bright lights are in your face.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about Saul. He's been so entertaining this year. I mean, arguably one of the most entertaining players the whole year. Like, I mean, that he had his whole Saul show thing going. Like, that was a big part of the season this year. Like, people were on that train. I mean,
it's true. It is. It is
oh,
distracting.
of course, that beard. How can you look
Very
away?
distracting. Very distracting.
But I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, him not, I know obviously the end goal is going to the belt and playing for the belt, but like, he went back in that tournament and won matches too. Like, he didn't just like sit out or get knocked out. Like, he fought his way back to the same exact spot. He didn't just like keel over and just like, oh, okay, season's done. So like, it's hard. You can't knock someone for like getting kicked. Like, he took a beating that first match. A lot of people can't come back from that. He was able to come all the way full circle back to the same spot that he had just took a hard loss. And you have to give that man credit for doing that. A lot of people can't do that. It's not an easy thing to do. And he did not have an easy path to get there.
No.
So yeah. And then, I mean, like, Parker, this is what we have been expecting him to do since the moment he stepped foot in this league. Like, he's the prodigal child of IG, finally like doing what we expected. So like it's kind of like you have Saul who was playing the upset, and then when Parker wins and does this, you're like, okay, that's what we expected from him. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think they both played phenomenal. They've both have had fantastic years. There's no way in hell this is the last time you're going to see Saul.
No,
he is a perfect medium of character and knowledge, and is someone that could be around for quite a while, I think.
Well, we saw what he did last year when he lost to Brandon Hanna on that question, the MCU question, and he studied and he revenged that loss that he had last year. I think he stays with Kate next year. I think he is her IG player. Also, that promo he did with Kate's son was adorable.
So cute.
Adorable.
So cute.
But I will say about Parker, and we talked about it the last time he played, we essentially like just said, hey, you're not going to win IG playing the way that you've been playing. And now we saw what he was capable of doing when he played at his best.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time that we saw a 5-round KO. I don't know if we ever saw it.
Last spectacular.
Was it last? Oh, that's right. It was. Yeah.
We had quite a number of them last spectacular.
That's right. You're right. So it's been almost 2 years since we've seen a 5-round KO. I was shocked to see it. Parker played incredible, but I will also say Saul really needs to reevaluate the way he chooses second-round slices.
Yeah, it was
twice where he's chosen a very bad slice for himself.
Yeah, it was. I was in studio that day for it, and I'm gonna be honest. This match was very hard to watch. There was a point in the match where I literally had to like turn and like do one of these things because I was just like, because I know Saul and I love Saul. Saul is a very, very good friend of the Sullivan household, and I know he's one of those players that just beats himself up after a loss like this, and it was really hard for me to watch because we all know Saul is an amazing player. And it's definitely, and we talk about it all the time. Well, we need to see how these players play under the actual lights in an actual studio. And unfortunately, Saul is the prime example of that, of how different it is. Because I could probably answer some trivia questions in my room. You've seen it. I can get like 3, but doing it in a studio, I'd get like -2. There's no way. Like, and if you've ever been to the studio, it's not just one camera facing the competitors and one camera facing Mark and Christian. There's like 6. There's like 6 full-on TV series, movie style filming cameras, lights everywhere. There's monitors everywhere. It's a whole production. And people don't really get to see that behind the scenes. And not only that, but you're answering questions and you have a live audience over to your right of people you don't know, people along the wall in booths who are competitors. And then you have Mark and Christian talking to your ear as you're answering these questions. It's a lot. And the fact that more competitors don't like completely space out, like going in studio like this, I don't understand because it's pure insanity. But there were definitely moments in the match where I just knew Saul was out of it, unfortunately. Like, I think he answered Willow as an answer in a category that Willow isn't even in.
Swashbuckling adventure.
And I just went, oh no. And it hurt. It's like you never want to see someone get KO'd, especially. Oh, we got more! Look at us go. We did it. We're really popular. They came back. There you go, Chuck. There you go. There's the link.
There it is.
But it's always hard seeing someone lose like that, especially when you're really good friends with them. And it was rough. But again, Robert Parker, he was the Robert Parker that he needed to be. And him going into Spectacular, he is hungry. He's hungry.
Scary if he plays the way he just played.
It's title or bust for him. I feel
exactly.
Like
yeah.
That's probably his mentality at this point, because that was his mentality last year, and it crashed and burned. Now it's like, I need to do this year.
So Yeah, and so our POV house may not be that much of a party house because someone's going to be studying in the next room over. So we'll see.
We'll be there to
see.
help him study.
We'll be there to help him. We'll take a shot for every correct answer he gets.
Okay,
Yeah.
psycho.
Just kidding. I'll die.
Parker
Sick.
he's like so hungry to play and answer these questions. You could see it. I mean, you could see it in digital matches, but you could see it times 10, I think, in person.
This was the true. You're right. This was like the true Robert Parker.
Yeah, and he was just loving every second of it. Every
Uh-huh.
time he knew an answer to a question, he said it with a giant smile on his face. He was having a blast, and I think, yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I loved what SAUL said about him in his post interview, that like this is just another on another level, a player that's on another level. And he was like, I was proud to have said that I've been able to play someone like Robert Parker because they're kind of like in their prime right now. And I totally agree. I think Parker is just killing it, and I can't wait to see him get that belt.
It's going to be fun. I know that we're going to be talking about the IG championship at some point, and we'll make our picks later on, but I'm not putting anything past Amaru, but it would kind of be like a cherry on top if he was facing.
I sent them photos.
We saw pictures.
Yeah, I sent them photos.
Oh yeah, we saw Khan. We saw. It would. I think it would kind of be like a cherry on top for Parker if he had to face Kalinowski for that belt, right? If it was like, I know that Amaru would be a great test, and it would be really fun to see Amaru versus Parker, but Kalinowski versus Parker at Spectacular seems like it just sounds incredible.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. I think even when Parker was like missing questions, because he missed a couple in the first round, like there was at one point he had the name down, but he put the wrong last name on the person. He said Maisie Williams instead of Maisie someone else. And just like his response, he was much more like vibrant and there. And I know that's hard in digital to do that, but it just seemed like he was very much in his element. And if he is like that at something like Spectacular,
I mean, it is a little bit easier to be lighthearted about that stuff if you're already in the lead. But yeah.
I will say this is for me. If I'm gonna pick for something, granted he was up by a lead, but seeing that speed round, he went 3 in, and I don't think I saw him hit the buzzer until the third one.
Parker?
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to go back and look, but there was a question. I don't know what question it was, but he answered a question that was said like 3 words in. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Again, like it happened again.
Insane people.
I think that was the winning question, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
The winning question was, what was
one?
the name of Hagrid's dog?
Well, Saul missed.
No.
Oh no, Parker answered.
Because Parker answered Fang or Fluffy, because technically he has 2 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So.
I mean, the speed round seems to be the thing that you kind of have to get over. Kalinowski's very good at it. We saw him against. Oh my God, who did he play? Chandru. He was very good at the speed round, and that's something that Parker will definitely have to work with. But remember, this was his first time ever doing it.
Yeah.
So now that he has that under his belt, the nerves are kind of out of the way, and he can move forward. He did the 2 rounds that he needed to do. He KO'd in the speed round. He did the betting. He did the speed. So now he has the experience in that going into Spectacular. Now we just wait to see who he plays, which is going to be a match in itself. So we'll see.
Can you imagine Parker getting the IG belts at Spectacular and me getting the Star Wars belts?
We'll put both of them on the fireplace mantle, and we will take so many photos.
So what we're saying,
sounds pretty
watchers,
good to me.
What we're saying is that we talked a little early about being crazy like Project X style house. It very well could be a webcam live stream of us just studying.
No, because that gives away their secrets.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see.
Jake's secretly going, yes, Grandpa House.
Grandpa
No. Tim Sim, I'm not going to answer that question.
Oh, please. We're probably going to go to bed after that. That one.
We're you know what we're doing Sunday morning though? We're going to brunch, baby. We are doing
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jill,
We got a
pressure's
late-
on you to find a brunch spot.
We got
That's
a
fine.
late flight Sunday for that exact reason.
Yes,
We're driving,
getting-
so we can leave whenever the hell we want.
we getting brunch. We're getting bottomless mimosas, friends. It's gonna be great. There you go.
Oh, great.
Hey.
Let's
I'm gonna get on that
drive
plane
5
already drunk.
hours hammered.
Molly's just gonna pass out on the plane home.
All right, everyone. Well, that's going to wrap up tonight's show. As Chuck says, POV is a bunch of 70-year-old. That's heart. Possibly.
My body feels 70 sometimes. Creaky.
All right. Well, that's gonna wrap up
He
tonight.
this one literally posted a thing on Instagram today of like an old person. He's like, my bones in the future. And it was like, crack, 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 crack.
No, it said when you're 19 and your bones are cracking like you're an 80-year-old, and I go, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Anytime this man gets up, moves, he always goes,
It's from
Uh-huh.
playing baseball for so long. My body.
The older
is
you
so,
get,
like,
that just those noises just
everything
come out of your
cracks.
mouth when you move.
yeah, everything. cracks. So, a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
anytime you get up off that couch, you're just like,
Ugh. It's harder and harder every day.
RD Films, I appreciate you. When Jake tweeted about mixing bowls, I felt that. Thank
I
you.
love it.
Thank
love
you.
Love it.
Yeah, I got new mixing bowls this weekend. It was great. All right, everyone. Well, that's going to wrap up tonight's show. Thank you so much for joining us, hanging out with us for an hour and a half. Big shout out to Mr. Eric Whiteley. We love talking to him. He will
the
definitely be back.
Wave
I kind of want to make him one of our reoccurring guests. He's always a great time having on the show, whether it's Star Wars or anything else. Of course, make sure you guys are checking out everything here POV. A lot of cool things coming this month. It is spooky season, so expect a lot of spooky things. A lot of spooky things are headed your way. So check that out. Link is in the description. Rachel, I'm sure you can put that in the chat as well. And then I'll let the crew plug all their goodness. I'll let Molly start us off.
ooh, it's beginning of the month, huh? Q&A. Yes.
Q&A is happening. Patrons, ask your questions.
Ooh,
Asks us some fun questions.
spooky season questions.
I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
throw in some
literally
spooky
going-
themed questions.
We have a question from Brandy that I'm like, Brandy, how dare you?
oh, I'm so excited.
How
Yes,
dare
Brandy.
you?
I know I could count on you.
It's a question where she puts us on the spot.
Ooh,
So
more of those, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah.
I'm still debating if I should spend like $85 on an inflatable Jabba the Hutt costume.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
the answer is always yes. to that.
Always
Literally-
yes.
Literally just so I could sit here and go, oh. That's all I want to do.
Oh, oh, oh.
I support your decision.
Do it.
Oh yeah, plug things. at Molly Damon on Twitter, and Twitch is coming back this week.
Yay.
Okay.
Jill got me onto a game that I am going to check out and play, and I'm very excited.
So wait, are the spooky things? What are they called?
The jump scares.
The bits. Are they on?
Spooky bits.
They are. I
Look at
haven't like taken a look at them and made sure they're working yet, but I will get
Everyone
all that
go
set up.
scare the hell out of Molly. That's your job.
Excuse me. You know how many T-shirts you have to sell in order? That's a lot of T-shirts. Okay, $85. I don't know what you're talking about. It ain't not cheap.
A lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, Star Wars explained, but there's nothing really to talk about right now on Star Wars.
Because it's spooky season.
Yeah.
I do want to say real quick, Sean, none of us will be able to make it. Hey, life happens sometimes, and it just didn't fit in any of our schedules.
It's the money.
We'll be spectacular. We'll be talking about it. So
Yeah, that's our anniversary weekend, so we're doing other stuff.
And Jill.
Yeah, you can find me Twitter and Instagram, Jilly Marie, 2 Y's, 2 E's. You can check out my apparently 6-hour long. It's really not 6 hours long. It's maybe
Took me
5
that
minutes.
long to scroll through it.
Instagram story about my Halloween adventures that I'm doing. You can also sometimes catch me doing post interviews and apparently behind the desk at the one and only movie.
Apparently,
Trivia
no,
Schmoedown.
it's happening. It's happening.
it's happened once. We'll see if it happens again.
I
Also,
volunteer
Tim
to be
Sim.
next.
Tim Sim, just want to say thank you for your post on the Facebook group. That was really sweet, and all the love I got for that. Did not expect to get all that love for that, so thank you guys so much. And then also, just want to plug real quick over Jacob and Taylor are doing another one of their bracket shows tonight. They have
Look
another.
at that lineup.
Look at that
Holy
lineup,
hell.
guys. They have
Holy hell.
your singles champion, Marisol McKee, former singles champions, Dan Merle and Adam Collins. You have former Inner Geekdom champion, Mark Knoppick, and potential future Inner Geekdom champion.
Your number one contender.
Your number one contender in Robert Parker is in this bracket show. So feel free to start heading over there now, because that is a good
You're gonna
freaking
have so
group.
much
William,
fun.
we expect a report next week.
You're gonna have so
reports
much
back
fun.
from everyone.
I want to
who's gonna be in
report
New York.
next Sunday from you on the event. Please.
So fun.
Wish we could be there. Maybe next year. I plan on going
Well,
to
2023, technically.
Oh, that's right. Well,
if you're in New York, yeah.
well, Atlanta. I plan on going to Atlanta next year.
Yeah.
If
That's
and
gonna
when
be
they
early.
announce-
I think Christian
They're
said like
typically early. They're
early
typically early.
in the next year, which is they did it in February last year. So
If they announce Boston,
Gab and I are game. We're game.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll for sure be in Atlanta.
Exactly, Jeremy. Do that POV raid.
POV
Make sure you
raid.
guys are doing it all. POV raid.
Do the POV raid, guys. You know, we know you can do it.
Brian, you're up next.
Bivosino on Twitter. Pocketflix movies with Jake. What are we doing on Tuesday?
We are spoiler discussion on Venom 2 and ranking Tom Hardy's movies.
Oh, I've seen like 2 of them.
Well, better watch them.
And they both been Venom. Oh, and The Revenant. Ugh, that movie was so bad.
You can find Schmoedown POV on Twitter.
They're back.
there.
It's back. 3
back.
Third
times.
time.
they're like,
Wow.
wait,
Legend.
before you end.
Legend.
we need more.
You can find myself on Twitter at Qui-Gon-Jake, 2 N's, because someone else took it before I did. Make sure you guys are checking out that Patreon link. $2 a month gets you guys a watch along. It'll be a spooky movie this month.
Spoopy
We actually just did a
season.
pre-spooky movie in I Know What You Did Last Summer, which was a lot of fun. We're going to be doing bar
That
trivia
movie
very
was
soon.
wild.
Expect a spooky franchise with possibly spooky guests, and then a lot of other stuff going on there. If you guys are interested in just talking to more Schmoedown fans who are diehards, our Discord is killing it. $1 a month gets you guys that Discord. It's a lot of fun, so check that out. Again, shout out to everyone who watches live. We really, really appreciate you guys. All of the Wave Riders who popped in as well. Eric Whiteley. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll catch you guys back on Wednesday for a reaction. Night, guys.
Bye.